Welcome, everyone. Roll call, please.
Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Molly.
Present.
Mann.
I am present.
Underwood Jacobs.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris. We have a quorum.
And Pastor Gabriel Rule from the Lancaster Baptist Church. Welcome, Gabriel.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for the city council that you have given us here in Lancaster. And Lord, I pray that you would give our city officials great guidance, great direction, that you would give them your wisdom through this time. Lord, we thank you for your son who died and rose again for us so that we could have a gift, your gift of salvation, and be able to have a home in heaven someday, become your children. And Lord, I pray for this meeting that you would please allow every decision to bring blessing from you, and that we would give all the honor and glory to you through what happens tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Angela, will you do the pledge?
Sure. Please join me in saluting the flag. Place your right hand over your heart and repeat with me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we don't have any presentations? Anything to be removed?
No, sir.
CCEA, is that Jason's? We do have a speaker card.
Vice Mayor, Council, last time we were here, we asked you to approve a form agreement of the actions that are going to be taken by California Choice Energy Authority, which you are the board of as well. As you recall, this is a joint powers authority that was created between your body and the city of San Jacinto. Today, we're happy to announce that the city of San Jacinto, as well as Pico Rivera, have approved their respective contracts. So today, we're asking you to approve those as well. There's a number of items on the agenda related to this topic, so I'm hoping to do one presentation for all 6 of them. But basically, the 6 items before you today are the CCEA items, which are the 2 I'm talking about right now. That's MB1 and MB2. Both of those are the administrative services agreement between our respective partners. Basically, there is an agreement between them and CCEA to perform the services of the operation of the CCA. The other group of items is the CCA and City of Lancaster joint items. Okay, that is the same relationship as Pico Rivera, as the City of Lancaster is also a member of CCEA and going to be served through CCEA. And at the same token, the City of Lancaster is going to be a service provider to CCEA. And those documents take care of that responsibility. And then CC12 and CC12 is an increase in the legal costs associated with adding these new members, so that contract needs to be increased by your council. And CC13 assigns all of the agreements that the City of Lancaster has with its third-party consultants to the CCEA. To further confuse you, we put together this chart. So as I was going, I realized it's a very confusing topic. We figured we'd confuse you with a graphic. So as you can see by this graphic, the CCEA is kind of the hub of this entity. That is your board as well. CC13 is an agreement between our third parties that do our services for us, and we're basically assigning those to the CCA. They're no longer the responsibility of the City of Lancaster. They will become the responsibility of the CCEA. At the same token, you'll see the relationship between the City of Lancaster and CCEA, and that's Joint New Business 1. This is the professional services agreement that dictates and identifies how the City of Lancaster gets paid, right? What the services we're doing for the CCA and how Lancaster receives those funds to do those services. And then CC12 is the attorney that we use under the City of Lancaster. At the same token, joint JNB2, New Business 1 and New Business 2 are the individual agreements for those individual cities. They're exactly similar, so each city basically takes on the exact similar agreement. Different pricing, because the pricing is based on the account, the number of accounts, and the load. So each of those is going to be different based on volume and price, but in essence, the amount or the agreements are the same. In essence, the agreements, the approval of these today will solidify the operation of CCEA and will begin the exact, or the relationship between Pico Rivera, Lancaster, and San Jacinto, so that we hope that there'll be 3 CCAs under our operation operating in Southern California Edison territory by September. So we're excited about that. So hopefully September we'll have 2 new members, not only in this entity, but in the CCA family altogether. How that relates to the city of Lancaster and the impact to us, basically right now we have 2 members, right? That's San Jacinto and Pico Rivera. That equates to about a $500,000 or $468,000 revenue stream to the city of Lancaster for those services. There's an economy of scale factored in there. Is that the reality is the amount of services we provide to Pico Rivera and San Jacinto don't necessarily increase our cost of operation. So their additional load and their additional revenue then lowers our costs as well. So it's kind of the economy of scale. If we have a million, if it costs us $1 million to buy 100 megawatts of energy, and we have to buy 150 megawatts of energy, it still costs us $1 million. So if you spread that over a per kilowatt hour cost, it lowers the price for everybody on a per kilowatt hour cost. So as more members come in, our costs are reduced and our income is increased on the city of Lancaster side. So this depicts what the 2 members are going to do to this relationship, and then eventually 4 members, which we're working right now with a couple others, and those are based on their loads, but those loads can change as we get more details. So at the end of the day, this is a very good thing, not only for the city of Lancaster and the citizens of Lancaster, its ratepayers, but also those cities that we're mentioned that working with. They would have no other mechanism or no other way to implement CCA unless it was this model that was created. So we're kind of proud and excited that this is the opportunity for that to happen. With that, I'll ask any questions or be able for any questions on any of the items. And with that, we respectfully request your approval.
I don't believe there's questions. Raj? Okay. So really, if we get your crazy map you got up there, there's 6 items that were before us tonight, if I can count correctly.
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, you did it.
Correct.
You did a really good job with that.
Now in the future, as we add new cities, there'll only be 1 item per city. But this is
Right.
since this is the first and
Inception.
this is the
That's
inception.
why
This
we
is the
have
starting point.
6 items.
That's why
correct.
there's so many on this.
Yeah,
this-
just so that the audience understands, there's 6 action items then before us tonight,
correct.
if we can count. And I don't know what you were thinking when you did that, because that does look pretty crazy.
Well, you should see it before we edited it. we have some other agreements that are. It's kind of an agreement flow chart for us because there are some other agreements that are required for the procurement of energy, master energy agreements, confirmations, and different security agreements. So those aren't on there. So we stripped all those out. Those will be coming to you later in separate items.
Maybe if you had it just everything falling down and not all that. That's okay. I'm not going to explain to you how to do a PowerPoint. That's okay.
I appreciate your advice.
I don't have any questions.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Jason. Fran?
Well, I'll answer it from right here. He answered all my questions.
Good.
Really? With as crazy as that was, you got through that?
Some people can understand it.
Okay, let's do for this one, we'll do a motion for,
Can we take those concurrently? Allison? Can we take new business
the
one?
CCEA
Or
items
do we
at
need to
this
take
time.
them separate?
Let's do the CCEA items at this time, and then we'll do,
I know, but I'm
we can
saying
do the MB1 and MB2.
MB2.
correct,
Yeah.
when we get to the NBs.
Right.
Oh, yes, CCEA, NB1 and 2 is fine.
We can take them
Misunderstood.
concurrently then.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So with that, I'll make a motion then for us to approve CCEA NB1 and CCEA NB2.
Second?
And that includes the A, B, C, D, and E provisions in each one?
Right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Let's vote. Motion carries 4-0. Did we lose the city manager?
Oh, we didn't need him. Let him go.
Okay.
We have Jason there, and we're okay. We got Allison, we got Toy.
We don't have
got
any speaker
Brett.
cards for the minutes, so I was going to ask him a question. No speaker card for the minutes. I need a motion second for M1.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
I second that.
We have a motion and second. Let's vote. Motion carries 4-0. The consent calendar, city attorney's going to admonish us.
Yes, with regard to CC 6, 7, and 8, these items are part of Revive 25, which is a citywide project, and therefore are subject to the public generally exception to the Conflicts of Interest Code in case anyone had any questions and concerns about those particular items. There are no conflicts.
Okay. Fran, you have 2 speaker cards on this, CC 9 and CC 10.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Saras, and I have just some quick questions, as always, trying to get my mind straight of what you guys are doing here. On CC9, I just wanted to find out, when they have here install ADA improvements and traffic striping, when they're working on the streets, I wanted to know exactly what that ADA meant. I know what it means, but what are they going, what projects are they going to do for us? I know the street striping, what that is, but what other things are you,
Jeff, you wanna take that?
improvements are you talking about here?
I believe ADA is American Disabilities Act, and it's all, any improvements that we're doing around sidewalks, and if we're next to intersections where we can provide curb ramps. Those, Marissa's telling me, yes, that's the correct answer, so I should probably stop there.
That's a correct answer. Okay. I'll
He's a
take it.
quick learn.
Okay. Okay. I thought that was, but I just wanted to verify it. And on CC 10, oh, this is on the housing rights. Let's see, what was I going to ask on the housing services? Yeah. When you say here, provide fair housing services, what does that entail? As far as if serving rights is monies, or serving rights is doing good deeds?
You wanna take that?
Or-
We pay the Housing Rights Center to hold a time for people who believe that they may be being violated in housing, to discuss with them if they are, and if they are, what they can do about it, being that they may be on a limited income. In addition to that, they do training so that landlords, managers, real estate agents, all the people who are related to housing know not to violate people's housing rights and what they shouldn't do.
Oh, good.
So we're required to do that because we receive CDBG funds, and that's part of what we have to do.
Okay, great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fran.
I do need to ask a question later, but I'll get that back.
Okay, I need a motion and second for the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as comprised.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent calendar as currently comprised. Let's vote. Motion passes 4-0. JNB1.
Mr. Vice Mayor, if it's the council's pleasure, you can take JNB 1 and 2 together.
Right, that was that, President, remember that crazy thing he had up on the screen?
Scrabble.
That's what that is, yeah.
No speaker cards. I need a motion and a second.
I'll motion that we approve JNB 1 and JNB 2.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Motion passes 4-0. NB1. I think you have a conflict on this one?
Yes, Vice Mayor, I need to recuse myself due to proximity to my employer.
Okay.
Vice Mayor, Council, before I get started, I'll do a quick update on our streetlight project, because this does have some relation to that. We have now successfully acquired every streetlight that is possible to be acquired from Southern California Edison, and are in the process of retrofitting those LEDs, and I'm sure many of you have seen them around town and how different it looks and how nice it looks. We are getting very, very positive comments from people who not only can see a little better, but it's obviously a lot safer. So this is a connection to that a little bit. Just thought I'd give you an update before I get started.
Thank you.
The item before you is the acceptance of a grant from the Antelope Valley Air Quality Management District to install a pilot program, which are electric charging stations for vehicles. EB Smart Technologies is the company we have partnered with, who has a unique technology that actually applies itself to a street light very simply and easily. EB is a Berlin-based or a German-based company. This will be, I don't know how many installations they have, but this is a pilot project for their project. Obviously, if this is successful, we now have access to 18,000 streetlights, which in essence become 18,000 electric charging station locations. So it really is a unique opportunity that this company presents, as well as the ownership of our streetlights present. And we're very thankful for the AVAQMD chairman to be able to do this project. As I mentioned, there's 5 locations. We're going to spread them out throughout the boulevard. So on the individual lights, they'll actually attach directly to our street lights. They will be free of charge for people to plug into. And a unique opportunity out of these is they are Wi-Fi. They also have a Wi-Fi system and capability within the apparatus itself. It looks something like that. The very slim, very slender, and it connects directly to any types of infrastructure, any types of street poles. So it would connect to the marble light poles. It obviously connects to the decorative poles we have on the boulevard, and allows easy connection for people parking and plugging into that. We talked about that. And it supports our climate action goals and our net zero goals as well. Is that, as you know, we are the solar energy capital of the world, and we take pride in the fact that we've set very high standards and very high goals, not only for the type of energy we procure, but also the infrastructure that we present to the community to allow them to benefit from this technology and the benefits of green energy as well. And of course, with your approval, we'll be implementing that project very soon. And again, thank the AVAQMD for this partnership.
Fran. Doing a lot of talking today, Fran.
It's simple talk, though. Good afternoon again. I just have, okay, it says here the Antelope Valley Air Control Management District is doing this with Lancaster, but isn't Palmdale also part of the AVAQMD department?
Yes, when we did this grant, there was no representation there at the time for it. However, the grant is still available to the city of Palmdale, but they've put it into different locations. They put it at their mall. So if you look out by some of the new buildings at the mall, that's where they've put their.
So, but are they going to be contributing to this also, or just us?
Well, the district itself contributes the money to it, and it's a pilot program to see if it's actually feasible.
Oh, I see.
So that's what we're taking a look at to do. So if it's feasible to do these polls, then we'll do a lot more. So Jason's going to do partnerships with everybody and
get
see if we can get
Palmdale
the money.
involved in this, right? So they can do their part. Anyway, another quick question. Down below it says project is a collaboration for local and regional government and private enterprise. Who are private enterprises? Who makes that group?
Who is the individuals that we're doing this with, Jason?
The company's name is EB Technologies.
That one, okay.
And they're the manufacturer of the apparatus, the charging station.
Oh, okay, that's, okay.
Friend, this is the first of many to come. We're looking at actually doing many at all the park and rides, and we're looking at, we have a company that's coming out. They're going to buy a fleet of cars, so you can actually do a group rent a van and work it that way. So it'll be electric vans, so
Okay,
it's a first of many to come.
okay. Okay, that's it for now.
Okay.
See you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Fran. Okay. Any other questions? Comments? I need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion to approve NB1.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. The vote is 3-0 with Angela Underwood Jacobs recusing herself. PH1. Who's doing this one?
Mr. Ludicky will be.
Go ahead.
Mr. Vice Mayor, would you please open the public hearing?
Okay, so opened.
Vice Mayor Christ and members of the City Council, the issue before you this evening is an appeal of a Planning Commission decision on a conditional use permit request. The site that's involved in this is located on 1.85 acres at the southeast corner of Division Street and Avenue K. The request that was filed was a conditional use permit for development of a mini market with alcohol sales, along with associated gasoline sales and a car wash. As proposed in the conditional use permit application, alcohol sales and display would comprise approximately 6% of the gross floor area of the proposed mini market. A mini market is defined as a primary seller in the city's alcohol ordinance. As a result of that, they are subject to separation distances, in this case 500 feet from other primary alcohol sellers and 300 feet from residential property or residential use. At this particular location, at the at the northwest and northeast corners of that intersection, there are two existing primary sellers of alcohol. One, another mini market on the northwest corner, and a liquor store on the northeast corner. To the southeast, the site is within a distance of an approved residential development associated with the Penny Lane facility, although that development has not yet begun construction. It is approved, however, under a conditional use permit, and they are actively pursuing their building permits for that site. Staff, in its report to the Planning Commission, recommended approval of the waiver request and approval of the proposed development. The Planning Commission, in their action, failed to adopt a motion to approve. That effectively denied the conditional use permit application, and that vote was a 6-0 vote at their March 20th meeting. The appellant subsequently filed their appeal on March the 30th. Staff's recommendation, as you can see in the staff report, is to approve the appeal and approve the conditional use permit. And those reasons remain essentially the same as we originally made that recommendation to the Planning Commission. Those reasons are as follows. The use provides convenience items, fuel, car wash services, and it provides them at what we think is a very important location. It's on the north side of the primary business park within the city of Lancaster. There are approximately 3,300 employees in that business park, and we feel that this location at the north side of that is a convenience for those people who work there, travel there, and also along Avenue K, which of course is a major street. The proposed development itself does meet the city design and access requirements. I don't know whether, can you get to the next slide? Yes, that's the site plan layout. It meets those requirements for design. and access, and given its corporate branding, we feel it would be well managed. The use would be conditioned to prohibit the sales of single containers of beer. We know that's been a major consideration in the city over the past several years. And they would also have to meet minimum size requirements for containers of the sales of wine. The alcohol sales at this location would not involve spirits. It would simply be the sale of beer and wine. In our review of the application, we did contact both the Penny Lane development to the south as well as the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Neither of those entities expressed a concern about the approval of this particular location. In fact, they did not object to that. We feel that that's a very important consideration in looking at whether a waiver is an appropriate recommendation here, as we feel that it is. The site, we feel, is an appropriate location given its commercial land use designation. It seems to be the right kind of a use given its proximity to the business park, and therefore we are recommending to you the approval of the appeal. Mr. Vos obviously is the commission chair. I want to be sure that he gets the opportunity to provide any input from the commission standpoint, what their review and their considerations were as part of the planning commission meeting. So I would defer to him from that point on.
Mr. Vos?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The commission took up the matter, as Mr. Ludicky pointed out, and conducted its public hearing. We heard from a number of community members, including the members of the organization that the mayor has established, the Alcohol Small Business Improvement Committee members, who spoke in opposition of the application. The commission and the members asked a number of questions, and they pointed out their concerns, particularly on the waiver. The use of the waiver for this type of proposal is very clear. Your ordinance 1742-.50 and 1742.60 clearly identifies the reasons why a public hearing is held and a waiver consideration is undertaken. It's not just the commission's responsibility to review and consider those ordinances, it's also the responsibility of the City Council. We didn't establish the ordinance. We attempt to administer it on behalf of the City Council. And as Mr. Ludicky pointed out, it was a unanimous vote of the 6 of the 7 members attending the meeting on that particular day. I'd be happy to respond to any questions that any of you may have.
Thank you, sir. Brian, can you talk about the patio section that's on this?
There is a patio location, an outdoor patio location that I believe is shown on the north side here. In the discussion before the Planning Commission, the Commission actually asked the applicant's representative about that. They indicated that they felt it would be a good location for somebody who, were they buying a sandwich or some kind of food product, that they could sit there, eat, and so forth. But they did identify that it would not be a place that they would allow the consumption of alcoholic beverages. Mr. Vos can clarify this a little further, but I think one of the concerns that the commission raised was the lack of visibility from inside the store to that outside patio, and I think there was some concern about that from the commission's standpoint.
Can you talk about the security?
I am not really the best person to talk about the security, but the appellant is present. I think she could probably give you a rundown on their security measures.
Okay. I have one last question. Did anyone from this commission that the mayor put and spoke in front of the Planning Commission, did they identify themselves with a conflict of interest?
No. The 2 people that spoke, I believe, identified themselves as members of that group.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions for Brian?
No, I don't have.
Brian, thank you. Fran, you're back up. You pass? Okay. Sam?
Yes.
You're up.
Oh, thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself, Sam Alsher. I own the store across street from the proposed site.
Did you identify yourself at the Planning Commission to own that site?
Can I answer you honestly?
Yes.
The applicant had the chance to speak first. And the applicant used the practice we call in real estate is scare selling. They approached it, I sat right behind him right here, and they approached it as this site is an alternative for the liquor store, the big bad wolf liquor store. This is a lady, she may not be comfortable going into this liquor store, but we're offering people an alternative. Now, that's in real estate called panic selling, and that's illegal. Now, I gave them the opportunity to state their position, and now I'm going to state mine. And if you'll give me the same courtesy as Mr. Ludicky, I'd like to show you some pictures, and I'll show you some pictures of what my staff deals with at this location, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure. You have a minute and 36 seconds.
May I? Anyways.
Can you preview those before we look at them?
Yeah.
There's no nudities.
You said 3?
May I?
Three.
There's
Finish 3?
total of 5. Let's go to number 3, not Circle K1, but Circle K4. Yes, sir. I bought this business 16 years ago. And 16 years ago, that area was a rough area. Since then, the probation department moved in, and the parole office moved in. And if we go back, since these agencies came in, my staff has been shot at twice, not once, twice. There's pictures to show you what the staff deals with. So I know, and Arco's been robbed at a gunpoint. So I know firsthand this is a high crime area. And the applicant is proposing to, can we go to picture 1, please? Circle K1. The applicant is proposing to put this in the same parking lot and same driveway as a children's psychiatric facility. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Vice Mayor. Do you feel comfortable allowing alcohol to be sales where children's are coming
Sam,
in?
you're on a real short lease, so I'd be careful.
All right, sir, I know. Well, anyway, look at the facility. You got parole, this sandwich between the parole, adult probation, a school, and Desert Haven. Now, I have a problem in the sales of alcohol, adding more, since you told us, about the panhandling and all of this. We know for a fact this is a bad area. And now we're trying to add more salt to the wound. I know our law says they have to have 5 feet unless they prove convenience. They haven't proved convenience. Every single item going to be sold at Circle K is sold at the 2 stores across street. So are our laws, the 500 laws, are they laws or are they just preference? I mean, we should enforce our laws. Our laws should be above every corporation and every particular individual. That's all there is to it. We can't just bend and stretch our laws. Our Lancaster Municipal Code says city adopted the 500-foot rule because it's necessary, and it's a good law. Now...
Okay, I'm going to shut you off. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Brian, do you contact Penny Lane?
We had to contact Penny Lane as part of the initial review because they share a driveway access or would share a driveway access. We did ask for their comment on it. They provided a letter to us that said, in essence, they didn't object to the use.
Okay.
They were most concerned about that shared access location.
Thank you.
And then the same goes for the LA County Sheriff's Department. They didn't chime in and say, this is a high crime area and we wouldn't recommend.
What they said in their written report was that they didn't object to the issuance of the alcohol permit. They did suggest conditions of approval and operation, which are incorporated into the proposed.
So it's already incorporated based on their recommendations. Okay.
Susan Bartledge. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Susan Bartledge. I'm an attorney in Glendale. For purposes of full disclosure, I represent some concerned citizens that are within the distance radius, that is the 500 feet for alcohol sellers and the 300 feet for residential uses. I'm not here to make any fancy legal argument. I'd just like to make a few brief comments based on my review of what I could get of the file. You're here today faced with a decision as to whether or not you're going to overturn the Plan Commission decision. Of course, the Planning Commission had a full-fledged public hearing. They are vested with the task of evaluating the information that's presented to them by the staff, and presumably they are basically in the best position to know how to rule on this particular issue. The appellant asks you to overturn the Plan Commission decision. Your job is to do that only if you can find substantial evidence and new evidence that wasn't before the Plan Commission when this issue was first taken up. So far, I have not seen in your file nor heard from anybody here today any new evidence which would support granting this appeal and overturning the Planning Commission's decision. My last 2 points are simply that you're not being asked simply for one exception under this CUP, you're being asked for 2. I don't see, nor has there been established, that there's any public convenience or public necessity in having another convenience store that sells alcohol. I think it's somewhat misleading to rely on the amount of space that liquor stores take up within any given establishment, because that is not representative of the volume of sales. And in addition, I note in the staff report that according to the developer, they say on the one hand that liquor sales are only going to be incidental, but on the other hand, they have to sell liquor to be competitive. That's inconsistent and contradictory. Finally, there's this issue of this CUP, if the exceptions are granted, would violate the 300-foot restriction from any given residential use. There's not just one, there's 2. There's the Penny Lane facility, and there is also another proposed and approved residential development that are within this radius. And again, you have to find that for some reason public convenience or public necessity would serve both of those facilities and proposed developments, and I do not believe that there is any evidence before you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Sarah Longwell.
Sarah Longwell with Circle K. I'm really more here to answer any questions you might have for me.
You want to go, is it Lori? Do you want to come up too?
We didn't, did we get the question answered about security? That would be one that
security? Can both of you talk about like the security in this location?
Do you have the security plan? So we have security cameras throughout the store, both interior and exterior, car wash, fuel canopy, and should we do the exterior patio, it would also be there. You have cameras that face both the customer when they walk in, so a customer coming in would see that they're on camera, as well as viewed in the office and viewed at the point of sale, as well as staff in our office, and staff can remotely view what's going on in the store.
Do you have anything else to either one?
Hi, my name is Lori Gaffner, the developer with 4 Circle K, and I do have a couple of photos of the inside of the store, which I don't think most people have seen yet. I know they were on the jump drive, Brian, I think you have them there. And there were some other slides too, but really what I'd like you to see in these photos is the interior of the store and how it's...
Yes.
Oh. This is the site plan again, just the landscape plan. It's a little easier to read than the black and white. The elevations of the building, we've worked with staff to create an aesthetic on that intersection that I think, raises the bar for that intersection. It's a nice looking store. We're proud of that elevation. That's the floor plan of the store, but these are the ones that I wanted to get to. This store is a concept, as we talked about in the Planning Commission. It's a newer plan, very low shelving, very well lit. So the view across the store is very controlled and comfortable for a shopper to be in. And the offerings at the store, this is where they have fresh deli sandwiches and salads and burritos made on site. We also have baked on site pastries, coffee. So it's a larger format store that provides, that does provide an offering that exceeds what is on the intersection at the moment. But this is the main slide, just to talk about security, that there's a visibility in this floor plan or in this design that we're very comfortable with.
So when I looked at throughout this and looking at it, you have a deli in there also?
Yes.
We do.
Yes. There's the deli, and then there's a large coffee bar that's espresso based, so lattes, cappuccino, fresh brew. But yeah, there's salads and sandwiches, wraps, burritos that are all made on site.
Okay. Very nice. Any questions?
I'm wondering, do you have the spot that shows the outside section? Do you have that as well?
This one?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, this is not the elevation. This is a general video. This is our elevation, which we've worked with staff to modify to meet the city code. The one in the picture is just a general image, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
The patio is on the behind or is it on the side? The patio you're talking about?
The patio is on the north side. You can see 2 little round circles up there. I think there's a light.
On the street side.
Okay.
There is small seating inside the store as well. The patio is, it doesn't have to be there. We were thinking it would be a nice offering, especially for the employees around, to have a place to have lunch. If there's a feeling of a security concern, it's easy to go away. We just thought it would be a nice addition.
Thank you.
And no liquor, meaning hard distilled alcohol,
Correct, just beer and wine.
and no singles.
Correct.
Okay. I don't have anything further. Thank you. We're going to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Comments?
No. I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 1717, upholding the appeal and approving the conditional use permit 16-08.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. It's 4 yes votes. Thank you. PH2, we have no speaker cards.
So we're looking for a motion then. All right. I move to approve.
Do we have to open the public hearing?
No, it's.
We open it and close it just to be sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We open public hearing. Anyone in the audience like to speak on this item? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Go ahead, Ken.
All right. So I'll move that we adopt PH2, the approval of the Community Block Grant 217 Program Action Plan.
I'll second.
Let's vote. We have 4 yes votes. Okay, council reports.
I had the opportunity to sit on the sanitation district meeting today for Mayor Paris, and it was a pretty small meeting. We approved plans, and the main item was public hearing for service charge rates for sanitation district, and it will remain the same for next year. So that's pretty much that I need to report.
My understanding, Raj, is that certain people were asking questions on how to lower the rates so they can transfer that idea over to Palmdale. Is that true?
Yeah, that was true.
Angela?
I have a report.
Ken?
I didn't mean to laugh.
Okay, I did the Hunter Dodge Alfa Romero test drive. If anybody gets the ability to go over there, their Alfa Romeros, it's going to be a great brand for the city of Lancaster. I did me and Raj went over to the First Responder Appreciation Day. That was good, saying thank you to all the first responders. We had an NCTC meeting last Monday, and we have a outstanding $90 million that was left over from the carpool lane, the 14-5 interchange. So we've been discussing how to split that up 4 different ways. So we decided to do it by population at the NCTC meeting and agreed to that. That was a good, so we'll be able to use an additional
That equation.
it's about $23 million that we'll have to work with our interchanges, so we'll be able to do that. I said on the Transportation Summit.
So to clarify, so that'll be another 23 on top of the original grant that we'd gotten.
Yes, the one that me and you worked on a long time ago, that was from the 138 grant.
Right.
That was in, they used STIP funds for that, so we were able to get that from the Measure R. So this money comes from Measure R. It's leftover money from the carpool grant.
Good. Mark will be able to spend that.
Yes, he's already trying to get it.
It's already spent.
Oh, I figured as much.
So we did the Transportation Summit. We were able to hold the Transportation Summit here. It is televised, so it's every third quarter. It is usually on a Wednesday at 9 o'clock, the first Wednesday. So it's a Transportation Summit, and if you're interested in the transportation and where the money goes, you should watch it. It's on Channel 28, and it's for the entire Antelope Valley. So we're able to do that. Did the ABTA first bus 60-footer. It's a bus, it's called the Lancaster. We named it in Houston when me and Mark were back in Houston. We named it back then, but it's named Lancaster. We took ABTA's buses. We're looking to trade out all of our buses, our diesel buses, by the end of 2018. So Angela's on that board with me. We also did the wave charging system at the Lancaster City Park and the Palmdale Transportation Center. So it's no longer the Lancaster City Park, it's the Steve Owens Park, excuse me. Did the mayor's prayer breakfast. It was good. The mayor was very good on that. Did Law Appreciation Day. We were able to give out several scholarships to the explorers that day and paid tribute to all the law enforcement that was out there. So that's what I did. Mr. Vos.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to make a comment?
I'll reserve my comment till later. Thank you.
I don't have to ask him again, right? Okay, city manager.
3 things. What may have got overlooked, Mr. Cottle pointed that out to me, is that we, on the consent calendar, have 5 items that go towards our Revive 25 and road improvements. for design, for doing 35 miles of contract award, and for buying 6,770 tons of asphalt. And our intrepid reporter from the Valley Press, Alicia Semchek, asked a good question: what does that mean? So we converted it. That means 325 trucks worth of asphalt. The public's going to see some measurable improvements on the roads very shortly over the summer and over the fall. So that was pretty exciting. Announcement number 2, and we have a short video. I don't know, and Marvin pointed this out to me, we sometimes take for granted that we are going to be the first fleet in North America to go all electric, and that we have gone with a very innovative charging methodology where a bus can go over a pad, not have to have a contact to charge the bus. It could trickle charge while the bus is in a layover. That's also a first that we're doing. And what Marv pointed out to me is that the staff at AVTA and the board members are asked literally to go all over the world. You said it's 4 countries now? Because everyone wants to know, how did Antelope Valley do it when they're all trying to do it? So we have a short video on the press conference that we have both on WAVE and the all-electric buses.
First in the nation, first in the country, first in the world, all electric. These buses are being run at 31 cents a mile, where our old buses are being run at $1.57 a mile. So they'll pay for themselves within the 12 years that we actually run them. It allows more people to ride the bus, so our Route 1 that is highly crowded will be far less crowded from now on, because the 60-foot buses will be put on that.
Can't tell you how tickled we are to be a part of the first transit agency in the United States to announce that they're going 100% electric. We're already getting inquiries from other transit agencies who are asking, wow, what's going on out there at Antelope Valley? Can we come out and take a look at it? Can we come visit WAVE? We'd like to do the same thing. The advantage is that there are no moving parts. So the competitors have a system where the pad that receives the signal for charging on the inner side of the vehicle actually has to lower down, which is a maintenance nightmare. We're looking forward to getting all these chargers placed in the ground strategically throughout the Antelope Valley.
It's exciting on a lot of different levels. First of all, becoming more green and being the first in the nation to do this, but also because in doing this, we've created jobs. And the Antelope Valley has been the home to BYD. And so taking the buses today and accepting them is just one more step toward realizing the dream of being green by 2018.
We're proving the technology here, and we're proving it at a scale that people can't say, well, it's just 1 or 2. We're going all the way. We'll have 79 buses, all electric when we're done.
We always heard about these electric buses are coming, they're coming, and I'm really excited to be a part of this and be on the board at the same time and help the community grow. We're going to have a transit agency that's going to have buses that are very sustainable, very low cost per mile maintenance. It's going to be clean air. It's going to be zero emissions, and we have brand new beautiful buses for our community now.
Joe, well done. Thank you.
Lastly, we have a short video on the Poppy Festival. We talked about that last time, but we tried to capture the setup and tear down in time lapse. It really doesn't do it justice. It takes more than 45 seconds on each end to do that. But it's a fun little video.
Thank you. Mr. Cozy.
Yes, sir.
How was your day?
On Saturday, we hosted our 20th annual Fire Service Day. Wonderfully attended event. Weather was a little cool and blustery, but very well attended. We had a lot of folks seeing us showcase our fire department equipment. We had firefighters cooking for offering food for purchase, and vendors selling everything from T-shirts to giving away pine trees. So we had a very wonderfully attended event, and we hope that next year is even bigger, and we hope to invite you as well.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anything from the Sheriff's Department?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Maria.
Well, I heard what you just said about, these were on agendized items that I was going to speak on. And here we go again. It's very emotional, you know. And then once I get up here, I'm like, because I feel like I'm just, either I get too mad or too sad. So, and sorry about my parents, but I've been stuck out in the middle of somewhere trying to dig myself out for 3 days or 2.5 days. I had went and picked up, when I read the agenda and everything that was on it, and then it said, just last week, I went and picked up some claim forms. And what it was showing on the agenda, there was a bunch of information on there about not being able to put any claims in or something. There was no more claims that you could file. Well, on these claim forms, it has not only the amounts, I put these in before to the Sheriff's Department and other places, but some of the stuff just disappears, like they don't have them or whatever anymore for the amounts. So on here, it asks things like the specific injury or damage that occurs, how did the injury or damage occur, the acts or omissions and damages, did anybody, was there knowing a condition causing the damage or injury? So there's plenty of damages and injuries that have been happening, that have happened for quite a while now, and none of it has ever been really addressed, or it's been covered up, or it's been, what has occurred, let me go through this now. There's been a loss of businesses, homes, vehicles, personal and private property, jobs, children. I can't bring my glasses now, but mainly health, the well-being, and happiness, freedom, and innocence of people. These have occurred through the placement by partnering, employing, recruiting, lying, harassing. There's been plenty of, when I saw the gas and electric situation part on there as well, that's to where the taking of people, using people and resources, not just for what we need, but for, as weapons against us and things like that. It's caused a lot of pain and suffering for a lot of people. All the things with the sex trafficking and all that too is it's caused a lot of pain and suffering for people. Like I said, I had put in for claims of all these things. If it's not necessarily about the money, okay? But it is, because people haven't been able to get their lives back on track. All this needs to stop because of things like fake and false imprisonment, being arrested, falsifying records, reports, charges, medical malpractice. There's just a lot of
Thank you, Maria. Tony Villacana.
Needs to stop. It's definitely a conspiracy and a plot.
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Villacana. I am a student at AVC. I am currently in Political Science 101. I just have a few questions. What is it like to be a city attorney?
You'd be surprised.
Do you want me to answer?
Yes, sir. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, that part's particularly fun. It's really interesting. I get to deal with lots of issues. And my favorite part is that my client is always trying to better their community. That's my favorite part of being city attorney.
And that's why we pay her.
And also, what is it like to be a mayor?
Excuse me?
A mayor? What is it like?
I wouldn't know.
That's for another time, huh?
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to talk to some of the newer council people to see what it is to be a council member?
Yeah, sure.
So you ask about a city attorney and a mayor. So what do you like to do?
I want to be a computer science engineer.
Okay, that's pretty close. Do you want to know like how, as being a council member, how does it feel?
Yeah.
Feels really good. You know, when you serve your community and you do something really good to make things better for your community and your city, it's a great feeling. And you start with I started when I was in college, started being a part of, community stuff, and you go out there and then be part of it, and you serve, and that's really great feelings. And it seriously, like, it gives you a great experience as well, and open up your heart and mind.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Gabriel Sanchez. Gabriela.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gabriela Sanchez, and I am also a student at ABC, and I would just like to... Am I not? Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm also a student at ABC in the political science, and I just had a question regarding the what is it? Fully electric buses that was presented. Since the charge of gasoline is going down, or the maintenance of it, will it also decrease on prices for the people, for the...
Good question.
Well, the college students ride for free because of a grant that we got. The seniors ride for free because of different grants that we received.
I understand.
Our disabled community rides for free because of a grant that we received. Our veterans ride for free because of different grants that we received. So whose price do you want to go down?
Well, everybody else who commute in buses, who go to work and who have to go...
We try to relay those prices along with MetroLink for the people that commute. So we try to make
Keep
them
it
equal, so we can look at it that way. We are one of the lowest bus agencies, and our ability to charge the individuals that do ride the buses on a daily basis, but we have probably 50% of our clientele actually rides for free. So that's what we're concerned with. We're concerned with our veterans, our seniors, our disabled, and our college students. We want them to, if you have the ability to pay, then we want you to pay the little amount that we do charge.
I understand. Thank you for your time.
Amber.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Amber Ruiz, and again, like the two previous people that were up here, I am a student at ABC. I just have two questions. I've noticed that you guys vote on these screens right here, and it's most of the time it looks like it's majority vote. But I'm just curious, what happens if there's 6 of them up there? What happens if it's 3 for yes and 3 for no? I'm just kind of curious how you guys.
There's 5.
Oh.
That one is
Yeah,
just
one,
a real
that's-
long name.
yeah, that's a- that's
you
a real-
might have counted her twice. She gets two votes.
Right, she's real important.
But okay, well, I'll re-ask. But if there's like a dispute between, say, one person and another on a certain topic, how do you guys try to fix the issue?
We don't. That's what we're here for, is we actually do a lot of times have a dispute. We had a dispute over the medical marijuana. We have different opinions about, but we represent the community. So, it doesn't make anyone wrong for their opinion. We have people that say, we need it and this is our opinion and this is why. We have other people that say we don't need it and this is why. It doesn't make either one of us wrong. It makes us both representing who we represent in the community. So it's important that we do disagree,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Well, thank you. I was just curious because all this voting, it's just kind of, if there's an issue that comes up, how do you guys, between personally, you know what I mean? Like, how would you guys be able to fix it? But thank you.
We get along. We enjoy everyone's company. We do talk about it afterwards. We're not allowed to talk about it prior to the vote. So there's different rules and regulations that we do follow prior to the vote. Afterwards, we talk about it and we can see each other's opinions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amber. Fran.
Good evening again. I just have, this concerns the fairgrounds, okay? I drive access a lot, and it seems like every time I have to go to the fairgrounds for a venue or some kind of a happening there, there's always a discrepancy of where they're going to drop us off and where they're going to pick us up. Some of the drivers say that they're supposed to pick us up by the flagpole or by the red building. I guess it's the turf building. And then some say that they can pick us up where they drop us off, which would be in front of the Van Dam or the Hunter building. But the question, my most important question is, which happened to me several times, I tell them, I'm going to the fairgrounds, I'm going to go to this to pick me up or drop me off at this particular building. But they go by the address which is facing H, which is in front of your turf red building. And what happens is,
I got it. I'll fix it.
Okay. Because one quick question, another quick thing is, if we're going to have to pick up and drop off by the flagpole by the red turf building, the black wrought iron gate is not open. So I have to go in this chair all the way down the parkway and go all the way around, and it could be a little dangerous.
We'll talk to AVTA and have them have a designated drop-off at between the two buildings. So if you're dropped off between the two buildings, and we'll also have another one because we're going to start running bus service out at the fairgrounds because they're going to start having bingo there Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So could not AVTA go out and mark an area with either paint or identify sign or whatever, just for patrons?
They'll have to do it through a contract revision with them, but yeah, we can do it.
Now, are you going to be putting that on the inside of your parking structure or by the red building?
We'll put it between the two buildings. We'll put two of them between the two, so you can either go to the Van Dam or the Hunter building.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very good. Because that's been a hassle and a half.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
David Paul, I know you didn't put a speaker card in, but I'm calling you anyway.
That's like extra credit.
Vice Mayor and Council, certainly good evening. Thank you, sir. I love to come here, and the college students coming is a great joy to see them participate. Everyone here participates in making this a better city and world, and I have felt like I'm sure some of you have, the disturbance in our political system these days. Some of it seems a little crazy, but what gives me hope is what I see here. Chair Vos, your composure is remarkable. I appreciate that and all the work you do, and I know you relate to it properly, because otherwise you wouldn't put up with it. It's the making of the sausage. I love it. Thank you for the buses. Thank you for letting the veterans and the seniors and the disabled and the college students ride for free. These are all such great things, and it's just a joy to come into this room and be with you all. So thank you, and good evening to everyone.
Thank you, David. That's why I called him anyway. Comments? I know I'm going to regret this. Mr. Vos.
I'm still having reservations.
Okay. Raj.
I'm good.
Angela?
I'm good, thanks.
Ken?
I was going to say something about Mark, but I'll be polite. So, Mark, we were able to handle the meeting. So I just wanted to remind you that you had a very efficient staff, and they did quite well at the beginning. It's a compliment. I was giving you a compliment.
Thank you. It's great staff.
I spoke about you while you were out, and now I'm giving a compliment to you.
Well, thank you. It's on behalf of the staff, so we have a great staff. Thank you.
That was a first. That was good.
The compliment?
Yeah, that was good. Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you.